Hello and welcome. This is Christina Hills with the Website Creation Workshop, and welcome to this free webinar called The Simple Truth to Succeeding Online. And what this call is a call to give you a very simplified, big picture of what having an online business looks like. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the presentation that I have for you today, and then I'll pause at the end and take some questions. So if you've got questions, just hang on to them, and we'll take questions at the end. I like to do very interactive calls, so I'll be taking some more polls and asking you questions, and you can type them in the little chat box. My assistant, Kathy, is here helping me on this call today, and so let's just go ahead and get underway. All right, so what I'm giving you today is the big picture overview of the simple truth to building an online business. And first of all, I want to let you know, who am I? Who is Christina Hills? Well, I worked for many years in the Hollywood entertainment special effects business. It was a fabulous career. I loved my job, but it wasn't quite conducive to having a family. So I decided to start an online business, and I became an online business trainer. And I started out first teaching shopping cart systems, and then I moved on to teaching website building using a software called WordPress. And the reason why I did that is because I wanted to have an entrepreneur lifestyle. I have a daughter who I'm very involved with her life, and I love being able to work from home, create my own schedule, and then spend a lot of time with her. And one of the things that we like to do, and I have some more stills from some other little film shots we've done, is we love doing creative projects together. All right, well, let's talk about you. So this is you, and you're pretty smart. You've got lots of ideas, and you want to build an online business. So the business that I have is the Website Creation Workshop, and here's a screenshot of my site, and I'll be referring back to it. But what we're doing today is giving you the big picture of building an online business. So here's your website. And your website is the center. It is the hub of everything that you do. And online, you're doing all this activity like social media, networking at business functions, email marketing to send people to your site. So all of these functions we have here at the top are drawing people to your website. Then from your website, you're sending people off to the shopping cart to make a purchase. Your website may be sending people to a physical store or location where you meet people in person. Or you might have a business that's phone-based. Maybe you're a coach or a consultant, and the purpose of the website is to get people to call you. So we're going to be talking today about this whole big picture and how it works together. All right, so I'm now going to take another little poll, and let me start my poll. Let me launch the poll. Do you have an online business now? So here's the poll. Do you currently have an online business? So you can just click in the box that pops up and just let us know. So yes, I have an online business. No, I don't have one, or I'm in the process of building it. All right, I'm going to close the poll, and I will share the results. So a third of you, wow, it's almost 30, 30, 30. A third of you have an online business, 30% don't, and 38% are in the process of building one. That is awesome. All right, let's hide those results, and keep going. All right, so let's come back to you. So this is you, and you're pretty smart. And you have a website or you want to build a website. So let's just get the big picture of what a website is, right? So what is your website? Well, your website is your home. It's your home on the internet. And your home has an address. And I like to talk about this. I like to teach this because I notice a lot that people don't always get the distinction between having a website and having a domain name, right? So your website and your web hosting company is the house that holds all your files, and your domain name is the sign. It's the label that goes on top of it. And here's another little drawing that I have. Your domain name points to your web hosting. So you may get your domain name at GoDaddy.com, and you might buy your hosting at maybe Bluehost or SiteGround, or you might have a different location for your web hosting company. Well, the domain name points to it. So they're two different things. And one's like $8 to $10 a year. That's for the domain name. And then the web hosting, it's actually like $3 to maybe $10 a month. Web hosting, there's all kinds of different plans and all kinds of different pricing. So here is a screenshot of my site and then my domain name, which is the label that goes on my site. Okay, pretty basic. All right, so let's keep talking. So your website is viewed in a browser. And your browser lets you connect your computer to the internet. And people view your site in multiple browsers. And if you're wondering, gosh, Christina, why are you teaching about browsers? Like, browsers is so easy and everybody knows it, or, browsers not something that I think about. Well, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because when you have an online business, you're going to want to get more than one browser on your computer because you're going to want to see how people view your site, right? So you want to look at your site in Chrome and maybe view your site in Firefox and view your site in Internet Explorer and view your site in Safari. Now, most people on Macs use Safari, and then people on PCs tend to use Internet Explorer, but Chrome and Firefox are becoming the more popular browsers. So if you don't have Chrome and Firefox on your computer, I recommend you download it, and it is free, but you don't have to do it now. And then there's this other browser which nobody uses except for geeks called Opera. So I'm just showing it here because if you ever hear somebody talking about Opera or the Opera browser, very, very, very few people use it. But it is another one of the browsers. All right, so now I have a question. This is not a poll. I would just like to know, what browser do you use? So you can just type in the little question box, and then we will see it on your cool Safari. Some people are using, Sharon uses Firefox, Safari, and Chrome. Very cool. All right, let's keep going. So when building a website, you want to create your site in WordPress. And I'm going to now talk about what is WordPress because that is the platform that I teach on. And I know that other people have been asking me, well, what about Wix and what about these other systems you can use? And the reason why I don't teach those other systems is because you're going to run into a block with those other systems. They're limited. Whereas with WordPress, you can start out small and then you can become big, like the New York Times. They use WordPress. All right, well, let me just explain what WordPress is, in case you don't know what it is. So WordPress is the software, and in it, WordPress has your database, your themes, your plugins, and your media. So let's step through these one at a time. So WordPress is the software. And again, this call today is not a WordPress training. It's a big overview training, but I just want you to have some fundamentals about WordPress. Your content goes in your database. Then you add your theme and your theme designs. So that's a little palette, paint palette. And then you add your plugins. So plugins are extra bits of software. They're tools that you might need, for adding SEO to your site. Or you see these little toys. Sometimes you add fun things like snow falling down on your site. Then you have your media. These are your uploads, your images, your PDFs, videos, audio. That's all your media. And all of these things are kept in a separate area. All right, so how do you get your stuff into WordPress? Well, here's a basic concept that you want to get clear on. You do things by uploading and downloading. So when you have an online business, you are all day long uploading things and downloading things. So what would be an example? Well, maybe you want to buy a photograph from a stock photography site. So maybe you want a nice beach scene and you go to a stock photography site. And if you don't know what a stock photography site, it's a place where you can go buy images. So this is awesome because you don't have to be a professional photographer. You can get high quality looking images to make your site look super professional. And all you have to do is buy it, and there's a bunch of free ones. And so you buy the image and you download it to your computer, and then you upload that image up into your website. So that's how things work. You're uploading and downloading all day long. So download is from the sky down to your computer, and upload is from your computer back up to the sky. And if you've ever been on a call with me before, I like to use lots of pictures, and I like to make things really simple so that everybody's on the same page. All right, let's keep going. So, working with WordPress, right? How do you work with WordPress? And in about 2 weeks, I am going to do another free webinar, so you'll want to watch your email that goes more deeply into building a site with WordPress. But here's the overview. WordPress exists up in the cloud, so you log on. Then you get inside WordPress and you're editing your pages and building your site and then viewing your site online. So that's just sort of a quick, how do we deal with our website? We're logging in online. In the old days, you built the site like in Dreamweaver and it lived on your computer. So you built it all on your computer and then you uploaded it. Well, nowadays, everything is very much online, where you're just working directly online because the tools have gotten really, really fast. All right, so now I'm going to take another poll. Do you have a website already? Yes, and it's in WordPress. Yes, I have a website, but it's not in WordPress. Yes, but I'm not really sure what it is, which is totally fine if somebody else built it for you. Or no, I don't have a site yet. And 39% have a WordPress site. 23% have one, but it's not in WordPress. 7% is not sure. And then 31% don't have a site yet. Awesome. For all of you, this is awesome. And I'm going to hide the results and keep going. All right. So let's talk more about building your online infrastructure. All right, so let's come back to this diagram. And I like this diagram because it helps me orient my brain in very simple visuals what it is that I'm doing. right? Because when you're working online, you're working with computers. Sometimes computers can get you really distracted, and you have to constantly say to yourself, where am I and what am I doing? So, what I want to talk about next in this part of having an online business, which is a very important part, is the email marketing and the selling online part. The email marketing and selling online. So, let's first talk about um, the email marketing part. So, having an online business, one of the key things to having an online business is building an email list. And I'm going to guess you probably came to this call today as the result of an email. So, I'm just a little curious for how did people, especially people who don't know me, how did you find out about me? Was it an email you got, or did you see it on social media? So you can just type in the little question box if it was an email, social media, a couple of social medias, but most people are saying email. Some people don't remember. Some people on Facebook, LinkedIn, a referral, awesome. Email, there was a couple of years ago when people were saying email was dead, and I was like, no, there's no way email is ever going to die because everybody has email. If you are buying a product on Amazon, you need an email address. You need email to function online. So even though social media has gotten really popular, email marketing as part of your business is super important. So what I want to do now is take you through the process of how the email system works. And Kathy, I just want to check to make sure. Am I going too fast? Has anybody told you that I'm going too fast? I just want to make sure.
No, not at all. You seem to be going just fine.
Okay. Well, as I said before, I really like interactive calls. So if I'm going too fast, just type in the box and let my assistant know, and I can slow down. And remember, I'll be taking questions at the end. All right, so let's talk about how this email process works. So someone comes to your site, a prospect comes and visits your site. And the term prospect means someone who's interested but they haven't bought versus a customer has bought from you. So they come to your site and they see this free opt-in. And they enter their name and their email and they click submit. And we're going to talk in a little bit more about your opt-in offer. So they come to your site, they see what they want, like this coming to this call. You enter your name and your email and you hit submit. And then you get to an opt-in thank you page. So you're still on the internet, you're still in a browser, and you get to a thank you page. The name and email of the person visiting your site then goes over here to number 2, and it goes into either your shopping cart account database or it goes into your email marketing database. So it goes into one of those two places. And then whatever system you're using looks up, okay, when this person has opted in, what should I send them? And then the email system will send either one or a series of emails to you. So then that comes back to you in an email. And you're reading your email in a different system than you're visiting a website. Although I guess if you're using Gmail or Yahoo Mail, you're going to a browser. But I think you get the concept. So that is a simple process of opting in, getting to a thank you page, and then emails are coming to the prospect. So let's walk through that. So here is an example opt-in page, and you'll enter your name and email. And I've got many different opt-in pages. This just happens to be one of them. And another way to have people opt in is on your sidebar on your site. So that's another way they might be opting in. So then when they opt in, then they get to a thank you page. So here's an example of a thank you page that has a PDF download and a little video that plays. And on my thank you page, there's a downloadable opt-in goodie. So there might be a PDF. I build lots of different opt-in pages with various different goodies. All right, so what's your opt-in goodie? So what I want to do is just talk about different ideas for opt-in goodies, right? So this is, and what I'm talking about here is not what's in it, but how it's being delivered. So people could opt in for a video. People could opt in for a checklist. People could opt in for a PDF guide and a handout. People could opt in for a audio. People could opt in for resources. Maybe you have a whole bunch of resources or tools or a webinar, and I don't have a graphic here for that in this slide, but people could opt in for a call, like the call you're on today. So when you're thinking about building your online business and you're thinking about creating an opt-in, oh, and I forgot this at the top. That could be a mind map or diagrams that might be helpful to folks. So when you're thinking about creating your opt-in goodie, not only do you want to think about your content, but you want to think about the delivery that you're going to give it to people. And if you're starting an online business, work with something that's easy for you. So if you're awesome at making PDFs or guides or documents, give people a document. If you're really good at doing video, make a video for people. If you build tools, give it to them. Think about what's going to be the easiest for you. So that was email marketing, right? So that is a big component of email marketing. Let's now move to selling your products and services. So selling your products and services from your site. So we are now going to focus on this part. So remember, whenever you're thinking of your site, what aspect of your business are you focusing on? And right now we're going to focus on selling. So how is a product sold online? Similar to that other diagram, just slightly a little bit different. All right, so let's step through this diagram. So the customer visits your website and finds a product for sale and clicks the Buy Now button. And then they are taken to number 2, which is a shopping cart order form. From the shopping cart order form, they're entering their credit card and their phone number and address and all that information, and then they click and get to a post-purchase thank you page. Now the other one was a thank you page for opting in. This is a thank you page for ordering. So a thank you page is basically any kind of page that the person goes to after they've taken some kind of action. So the customer goes 1, 2, 3, finds the product to buy, clicks to buy it, gets to a thank you page. So what happens as in the background as this is going on? Well, their info goes up here to number 4, and it either goes into your merchant account or your PayPal account. Basically going through the shopping cart system and winding up in PayPal if that's what you're using, or a merchant account if that's what you're using. And a merchant account, if you don't know what a merchant account is, it's a way to take credit cards. It's like a special kind of bank account that allows you to accept credit cards. But PayPal is a great way to get started if you don't have a merchant account. All right, so the monies go there. See the little money bags? They go there. And then number 5, the customer information goes into whatever shopping cart system you are using. So it's collecting their name, email, phone number, address, etc. And then the shopping cart system looks up, well, what did this person buy, and then sends them an email receipt or any other follow-up autoresponders. So this back of the scenes stuff happens super fast. The customer doesn't even think about it. They just go click, 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 and all of this other stuff is happening behind the scenes. So this is selling a product online. So let me just walk you through that in a real world situation. So let's say you get to a site and you're coming to a sales letter page. So, and I don't have a screenshot of like a product site like an Amazon type site. Let me just explain for a moment what a sales letter site is, sales letter page is. And this is an older version of one of mine. This is a newer version of what I just ran for my winter class. And a sales letter page is a website. It's a web page that doesn't have any header or any navigation or any buttons. It's a page that's focused on selling one product. And so this is a screenshot of when I ran my winter course, and I'm getting ready to start my spring course, and I've started building that page. So that's what it looks like. And then when you get to the bottom of a sales page, then you'll find the place to purchase, right? So people are clicking to purchase, and then they get to an online order form. They get to an online order form, and then they click to buy, enter their name and email and a secure order form, and then they get to a thank you page. And in my case, because I do online training, the thank you page is my members area. And this is a screenshot of inside my program in the members area. All right, so what do you want to create? So coming back, and I'll leave this up here for a moment so that you can write it down. When you're creating an online product, what format do you want to create it in? Because there's lots of different things you can do for selling online. You know, not counting physical products, these are all information products. So you might be selling videos. You might be selling PDFs. You might be selling MP3 audios. You might be selling checklists or digital downloads or community forums. And yes, you can sell community forums. In my training, I create a Facebook group, which is a community forum. So people who are going through my course get a community area to interact with others. You can sell live webinars. So your webinars can be free or they can be for sale, or you can do teleseminars. And to me, a teleseminar is what it sounds like, but there's no visuals, and webinars have visuals. So that's the difference. Resources in a Rolodex. You know, if you've been in business for a long time, you have a huge list of resources that someone else would find incredibly valuable because you've spent years collecting and cultivating it, and that has value. Mind maps. Not everybody knows what a mind map is, but a mind map is, it kind of looks like this. It's a visual diagram to teach a concept. That's a mind map. And if you don't know what a mind map is, don't worry about it. Or software and tools. Some people are building software and building tools to sell online, little apps. stuff like that. All right, so my question for you now, getting back to the interactive part of this training today, how do you like to learn? Videos, webinars, PDF, hands-on, says Judy. Follow along webinars, depends upon the subject. So it seems like a lot of people really like the visuals, and Maureen says she likes all the different ways, and a few others are saying that as well. All right, so what do you need to sell directly online? So let me go to this next page, and I'll leave this up for a while so that you can write it down. So in order to have an online business, what do you need? Well, you need a website. You need some kind of product or program. Now, if you are a coach or a consultant, you can sell your coaching services online, and you can set up a system for people to book calls with you online, and some of those systems will take credit cards, but don't undervalue your expertise. And even if you don't have a product or program yet, selling your time and consulting is incredibly valuable. You need a shopping cart system, some way to safely collect the credit card information. And then you need a payment processor. So I'm teaching you all these different terminologies. A payment processor would be either like a merchant account, and having a merchant account lets you take Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, or PayPal. And there's lots of different systems that will take the payments. But the purpose of this slide and the purpose of this training is so that you understand what these different systems are. And some of them are sort of bundled together. In a way, PayPal, in a way, is a shopping cart and a payment processor together. Then you need an email system so that you can email people. And sometimes that is bundled in with these other items. Then a fulfillment house, you only need that if you're shipping physical products. So in my training, in the website creation workshop, when people sign up, I ship folks a binder. So they get a 3-ring binder so you can go have a place to put all your handouts and training materials. So I have a fulfillment house ship out a binder. Now you don't necessarily need that, but that's what the terminology is. And then if you're selling digital products, you need a method to deliver the digital products. So some kind of membership site or a digital download page, and you can do that in WordPress, and there's other systems as well. But these are the basic things that you need to have an online business. Now, fulfillment house you might leave off, and some of these get merged together. But the key thing that I want to teach you is if you understand the terminology, it's going to be easier to find your answers. When you talk to tech people, and I talk to tech people a lot, and my specialty is in training and teaching technology, tech people don't always know that you don't have the terms right, and so you'll talk to somebody and you'll be thinking one thing and you've got words coming out of your mouth, and the other tech person, they're just listening to the words and answering you, but they're not taking the whole totality of who you are and understanding where you're trying to get at. So I'm hoping that this list will help explain things, and when we get to the Q&A, I can go over this some more. All right, so we talked about the shopping cart part. Let's talk about getting people to visit your site. So getting people to visit your site, that's called traffic. That's kind of a cold term, but that's what it is. Folks coming to your site is called traffic. And how does traffic get to your site? Well, social media brings people to your site. Networking and handing out business cards brings people to your site. And email marketing also brings people to your site. So I want to talk for a moment about the social media part. And so these are the big social media platforms. And so we got Facebook, Google Plus, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all of these different social media platforms. And people like to be on social media, they like to hang out on social media. But remember, when you're hanging out on social media, you're at somebody else's party. And what you really want is to bring people to your site because that's your party. That's what you have total control of is your website. And so you want to think of these other places as places to network with people, interact, and but then draw them back to your site because that's where you have control of and that's where your sales are going to come from. So I'm just curious for the people on this call, are you active on social media? So if you could just type in the box if you're active, you can just list, if you're on Facebook or, and some people are not that active on social media, and you don't have to be active on social media. You can be somewhat active. I used to be very active on Twitter, and now I'm somewhat active. I tend to be hang out more on Facebook, and Holly is saying she's only on LinkedIn. So, it doesn't matter which one you are on. I was just curious to see what people do on social media. And all right, let's keep going because I want to have um, more time, and we're almost at the end. So, an online business allows you to make money while you're playing. I mean, that's the great thing. It's not like a store where you have to be open and a human has to be there. Your site, your website does the work while you're off playing or spending more time with your family or donating to nonprofits or volunteering in nonprofits. And this is a still from the theater group, and this is my daughter over here on the side. It was this pirate show, um, and I can't remember the name of it right now. But anyhow, by having an online business, I'm able to spend more time with my kid and other creative projects, which I talked about in the beginning. So here's a shot from Little Red Riding Hood that we did, little spoof video we did a couple of years ago. And then here's the shot that I showed earlier from Alice in Wonderland. And here's another shot from Alice in Wonderland. And there's my daughter and I hamming it up as Little Red Riding Hood and Little Red Riding Hood's mom. And this is it. We're at the end of the slides. And I am going to be starting a new spring class of the website creation workshop, and that will be starting in a few weeks. So, Kathy, I am ready to take some questions.
Okay. Well, we need to get some questions from some people. We haven't gotten very many. They kind of followed what you asked, that you would answer questions at the end. One person did ask, how do you get a targeted specialized email list?
How do you get a targeted specialized email list? Well, it depends what your site is about. So on your site, you can have an opt-in box, and you can basically say, what your business is about and what it is they're opting in for. So whatever it is they're opting in for will make it specialized. So you just have to say you're opting in for, I don't know, that person might have to mention what their business name is.
Okay. Several people are asking, how will they be notified of the class and when the dates will be and all that stuff? You want to exaggerate a little bit more on that?
Okay. So I am going to be running a webinar that focuses more in on WordPress, and that will be in a couple of weeks, and you will get an email reminder for that. So you got on this call from an email, and you'll get an email from me letting you know that that is going to happen. And I think there might be a special, let me just look here, website creationworkshop.com. I think I have a special list for people who want to get on the early announcement. Yes, if you go to websitecreationworkshop.com/2015, there's a link there, and you can get on an email list.
Okay, kind of a funny question here. What tool do you use for your quick polls?
I use the GoToWebinar system to run my webinars, and in it, it has the polls bundled in.
Okay, and one question here was, do I need a separate thank you page for each product?
That's a great question. Let me go back in my slide. All right, close your eyes so you don't get dizzy. I'll get back to that slide with the opt-in box so I can talk about it. The diagram. For each product. Oh, I guess I needed a different slide. Well, I'll just stay here for a moment. It depends. If you are selling a product, you can have a different thank you page for each product. That is optimal. But let's say you're building a store and you got hundreds of products. You could just have a simple thank you page that says, thank you, we'll be shipping your product out shortly. So I think it's better to have a thank you page for each product, but you don't have to.
Okay. Are you going to be sharing your top suggestions for shopping cart providers, payment processors, email systems, etc.?
You know, that's a great idea. I don't have it prepared in this presentation, but I'm just making a note. Shopping cart systems are all over the map nowadays. It used to be easier several years ago. I use the One Shopping Cart, also known as Marketer's Choice or Kickstart Cart. That's the system that I'm using. There are lots of different shopping cart systems, and things have gotten very custom, so there's some that are just for if you do live events and some for digital only, so I don't have that prepared here. In terms of email systems, sometimes they're bundled in with your shopping cart system. Sometimes you get a separate system, so I can recommend Aweber, MailChimp, iContact. Constant Contact I have not used, but it's popular. GetResponse. Those are just a few. Entreport, a few email systems. Okay, next question.
Okay, many of them are asking that same question you just answered, so I'm going through these. Will you show how you can make an online program in WordPress in your new class?
And my new class that's coming up in mid-April, that I'm going to have a webinar in a couple of weeks. That course is to teach you how to build a WordPress site, and in that course you can build any kind of WordPress site. And it's also for people who already have WordPress who don't really know how to use it that well. But in a couple of weeks, I'll be going into more details on that. So just watch your email. And if you're on this call today, you're already on my email list, so you actually don't have to opt into anything else again. You'll get a follow-up. You'll get follow-up emails from me.
Thank you, because there were several questions about what your class covered. Um, is it confusing to visitors if there is a newsletter opt-in and an event opt-in on the same web page?
You know, it really depends how you lay it out. I don't think so. I think you can have uh, a generic opt-in box on your site to opt in for a newsletter, and then you can have other opt-ins. So it really depends upon how it's laid out.
I'm not sure you have money ideas on your. People are asking how much um, do you feel is a reasonable monthly cost to run a website business?
Oh, wow. What are the monthly costs? I have not broken that down. And that is a great question. And the answer, in a way, is all over the map. So it kind of depends upon who you are and what systems you want to use, how many customers you have. So there are lower cost ways to do things, and then there are higher cost ways to do things. It all depends, like how big your email list is. I know some systems like MailChimp, I believe they still do this. You can get a free account if you don't have that many email subscribers, but then as you get more email subscribers, then they start charging. If you want to sell, PayPal has a free version. You can sell online with PayPal. And then, as you get more customers, you're going to want to get a merchant account. So I don't have that broken down.
Okay, thank you. And what about blogging as social media to bring in potential customers? Do you feel that's a good one also?
The good thing about blogging, so what blogging does is basically with blogging, you're writing an article and you're posting it on your site. So there's a few benefits to blogging, and I try to blog once a week. And some people blog daily. I don't have the stamina to blog daily, and I don't really think my subscribers would want a daily new blog from me. But other people do blog daily. What it does is it puts more content on your site. So the more you write and the more content you put on your site, it's better for the search engines because it shows the search engines, oh wow, this is an active site. There's stuff happening here. And then people read your blog posts. Now, the truth is about blogging is fewer and fewer people are commenting on your blogs. They're still reading them, but they're not commenting the way they used to because folks tend to like to hang out in Facebook and comment there. So I will post on my blog, but sometimes I'm talking about my blog post over in Facebook.
Okay, and how often should an email go to people who have opted in? I find it annoying when I get a minimum of one email per day from people.
It really depends what's happening. So if when I'm doing a promotion, when I'm getting ready to start a new course, and I'm going to be starting my new course, I start to send a lot of emails because my course is starting. There's a window that opens to register for the course, and then there's a window that closes. I think my course to register, is only open for about a week. So during that week, I tend to email a lot because people miss emails. So, how often should an email go out? It really depends upon you and your market and what's happening. I don't like to email every day, but if I have a call coming up, you're going to get an email, and then you're going to get an email reminder so you don't miss the call. And then tomorrow, you're going to get an email for the replay, or I might put it out tonight, but you'll get an email for the replay. So it really depends upon what's happening. So you'll have to test it with your own market. Okay, next question.
Alrighty, and do you recommend that they have a blog on a separate website like Blogger, or can it all be in one website?
I would keep your blog all in one website, all in WordPress, and I'm going to be talking, Yuri, about that in a couple of weeks. I'm going to do a webinar just on WordPress and building WordPress sites, so you'll want to come to that. But I would have it all on one site. Okay, next question.
Okay. Let's see. I've seen quite a few Facebook groups allowing direct sales. What are your thoughts on that?
Wow, I have not seen that, so that I know what you are talking about, find me on Facebook and send me a link to that page. So I have not personally seen it where I'm buying inside of Facebook. I've seen links in Facebook that click me out of Facebook, but I haven't seen it. So I would love to see that. So send that to me. I'll take a look at it.
Okay, and is PayPal sufficient for a shopping cart for when you are first getting started? And what kind of PayPal account do you have to have?
I have what's called a PayPal Premier account. PayPal Premier lets you accept credit cards through PayPal. I think if you're starting out, PayPal's a great way to go. But even if you've been in business a long time, it's good to have a PayPal option because lots of people want to pay with PayPal. I personally prefer paying with a credit card, but some people really like to pay with PayPal. When you get a lot of sales and your sales volume goes up, the fees that PayPal charges become a lot. So when you're up to doing thousands of dollars a month, the PayPal fees are higher than a merchant account company. So when you're making more business, I would definitely get a merchant account company. But I think it's a great way to start. Because the important thing is getting your online business going. So if connecting to PayPal is what you need to do, then I would do that. And not worry about getting your merchant account immediately.
Okay, thank you. And Christina, we only have about 5 minutes left, or
Oh wow.
I think only 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
And so for those of you that put in questions and if you didn't get answered, how can they contact you or contact somebody for an answer?
A lot of my I'm going to go more into the WordPress and website building stuff in a couple of weeks. So not next week. Next week I've got a PDF I'm going to be mailing out. But the following week, next week you'll get an announcement. For the following week, I'm going to be doing a call that goes deeper into WordPress. So you should definitely come back for that call.
Okay, great. And there are comments here that Google gives away blogging websites. Could you address on the cost for WordPress?
Well, the WordPress software is free. The cost is buying a domain name, which is like $8 to $10 a year, or and then getting your hosting, which is under $100 a year. So for a yearly cost, about $100, but most hosting companies let you host multiple websites. So if you decide to build multiple websites, um, your cost doesn't double to $200 a month. Usually that's just one account, and then you can have many websites. All right.
Okay, and do you use parent themes like Genesis in your workshop?
I do. And I'll talk more about that in a couple of weeks. This call today was really kind of a big picture, simple overview of how this works.
Okay, and of course, when you launch the program, that's when they'll get all the information about the cost and the registration, all that as
Yes,
you go.
yes. So I want people to know that the spring 2015 course is going to start soon, and you want to sort of get this big picture overview. I will be sending out a replay so you can go through the replay. If there's any kind of one of the images you want to look at, you can scroll through the replay. But I'm going to be going through all of the registration and costs and all of that of my spring class in about 2 weeks when we're ready, because we're not quite ready yet to take registrations.
Okay, and one of the questions, and actually several people have put in the same question, do you have a recommended hosting site?
I use a couple of different sites. You can go to christinasresources.com/Bluehost. Also, christinasresources.com/SiteGround. Those are the two companies that I like. And then I used an advanced one called WP Engine, which I don't recommend for people who are new. So I think SiteGround and Bluehost is a better option. christinasresources.com/Bluehost. And you know what, Kathy, I'm going to make a note to send that out in when I send the email reminder.
Okay. And if accepting money for a nonprofit, do you suggest a merchant account? And what fulfillment house would you use if it was for a nonprofit organization?
If you're taking, okay, this will be the last question since we're out of time, and I'm going to be doing another call in just 2 weeks. So, and you can also email me if you've got any questions about what I covered today. If you are a nonprofit, a fulfillment house, unless your nonprofit is shipping out goods, I don't know why you would need a fulfillment house. And so should you have a merchant account if you're working for a nonprofit? I think I would stick with PayPal because you want to keep costs down for that nonprofit.
Okay, one of the things you just said, talking about hosting before you go off, someone got really confused and asked, why would you want to use different web hosting companies? As if you're
that's a great question.
Okay.
So because I teach website building, I felt that it was important for me as the teacher to buy different hosting accounts so that I could give better advice. So that's me as a teacher and a trainer and an expert in WordPress. I'm trying out different hosting companies, so that's why I am buying different accounts. You wouldn't need to do that. You just pick one company and work with them. That will be a lot easier. But I've tried Bluehost, I've tried HostGator, I've tried SiteGround, I've tried GoDaddy Hosting, and WP Engine. So this makes me a better teacher because I teach what I know and what I use. So it's important. It's just for my own integrity. It's important for me to use what it is that I recommend. And so that's why. So I'm liking Bluehost and SiteGround the best for people. All right.
Okay. I think you can call it a day.
Yeah, I know. And if, there's always more questions, but I want to respect people's time, and we've gone just a few minutes over. So what you learned today was this big picture overview, and hopefully you have a clearer understanding of what things are, because, when you're working with the internet, it's not tangible. It's very ephemeral. You're on a browser, and then you're on one site, and then you're on another, and it's hard to keep clear in your head how it all fits together. So hopefully you got...
Did you have another poll before you go off?
Oh, yes, I did have one more poll. All right, I have my Goldilocks poll. This is the Goldilocks poll. How easy versus hard was today's call? So the pacing was just right. I was able to follow along. I sort of followed you, but it moved a little fast, or I was totally lost and confused. How about that?
And Christina, while they're answering that poll, you got so many thank yous. What a great webinar this was. They learned a lot. Thanks a million. I just want you to know that the people really appreciated what you were doing.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to close this poll, share the results. So most people were able to follow along. A few people felt it went a little fast. If you were totally lost and confused, then send me an email. Or if this call went way too slow for you. So if you were totally confused, please send me an email. Or if this just went way too slow for you,
Do you have an address that they can send that email to?
Christina at websitecreationworkshop.com. But the majority were right in the middle, exactly where you should be, which is awesome. So I'm going to end the call here. We could keep talking forever and get this replay out. I want to thank everybody on my team and to wish everybody who celebrates Easter a happy holiday. And if you're celebrating Passover, I know that's coming up soon too. And we will see you all next time. Bye-bye, everybody.